I don't think we'll ever see anything like it again. It's that moment happening with so much riding on it. It was just mind-blowing, wasn't it?
I was in that stand, and I can assure you there were several injuries around
Several
me.
casualties.
Yes, it was absolute pandemonium.
Apparently, the changing rooms after the game were absolutely trashed, and a quote mysterious brown substance had been found on the floor.
And I do shudder when I say Gary O'Neill because of that playoff final that you just mentioned.
My favourite all-time playoff goal is another free kick, and it's by the man, the myth, the legend, Peter Whittingham.
I just think Forest are in a really good moment, especially after that dramatic semi-final win as well.
Steve Cooper lost in the playoff semis, lost in the playoff final. Only logical step is he goes and wins it at the third time of asking. Hello and welcome back to another episode of the Stopwatch after 34 episodes. We're at the season finale, and today we're dedicating the whole show to the playoffs. It's just around the corner, Justin. I cannot wait. All the drama, the tension, and sheer excitement that is on our way this coming weekend. It's going to be chef's kiss all over that. As always, it's the Topical Championship show with a little twist, ladies and gentlemen. 5 topics, 8-minute timer, and 2 hosts. We're Ryan and Justin. From the Second Tip podcast, let's get right into it. Justin, what is your all-time favourite playoff game? There's been plenty. It's hard to narrow it down to just one, but what are you going for?
Yeah, the playoffs is the greatest thing in the world, so it is hard to narrow it down to one. But I'm going to go with a bit of a home run. I'm going to go with the Watford 3, Leicester 1 game in 2013, semi-final, second leg. Leicester and Watford were going into extra time until Anthony Knockaert took a suspicious fall to the ground from, I think it was Marco Cassetti. Obviously, won the penalty. It was saved by Almunia. Then the follow-up was saved by Almunia. Didn't know much about it. And then what did Watford do? They go up the other end and score. It was absolute pandemonium. I think it was Jonathan Owen. The summariser was going balmy. Deeney took off his shirt. Fans were on the pitch. Oh my
Justin,
God!
everyone was going balmy. It was something that I don't think we'll ever see anything like it again. It's that moment happening with so much riding on it. It was just mind-blowing, wasn't it?
It was ridiculous. And as you say, it's very hard to get that scenario again. And will it ever be repeated? Probably not. We've had some similar ones, but not like that.
No, absolutely not. My favourite playoff game, and mine's more about what happened in the whole 120 minutes, as opposed to what happened in just one moment. It's Derby against Leeds from the 2019 playoffs. So the story is that Derby lost at home in the first leg of the playoff final. No team has ever won the tie after doing that, and Derby went and did it. They conceded a goal first off as well. They came back, the goals just kept racking up, and slowly but surely, Leeds, well and truly, fell apart. They got it back to a level footing. Leeds managed to get it back to a level footing again after that. And then finally, Richard Keogh plays through Jack Marriott, dinks it over Kiko Garcia. Roof goes off the place, and the best limbs that have never been shown on Sky Sports, Justin Peach.
Yep, I was in that stand, and I can assure you there were several injuries around
several
me.
Casualties.
Yes, it was absolute pandemonium in the away stand, and just the fan footage after in the Leeds ends. He's through again. That quote there, it is incredible, and
Justin,
so many memories.
Justin, what's next topic?
What is the strangest moment in Championship playoff history?
Well, because we've been talking about Derby v Leeds, it brings me on to the strange moment. So this has never been confirmed, as far as I'm aware, anyway. But after that game, there were rumours of, well, how can I put this? So after the game, Derby and Leeds have had this big rivalry, haven't they? That had been going on pretty much all season because of Spygate. Derby players after the game were singing "Stop Crying, Frank Lampard," which was a song sung by Leeds fans to Frank Lampard. And then apparently the changing rooms after the game were absolutely trashed, and a, quote, mysterious brown substance had been found on the floor. What else can I really add to that? I don't think I really can. That's all I'm going to say about the matter. Completely balmy. One day, I dream of speaking to someone who can actually confirm what that brown substance was. Maybe it was just chocolate. Who am I to say? Justin, what's your strangest moment?
Yeah, it's hard to follow that. I'm going to go with the Joe Bryan free kick against Brentford in the 2020 playoff final. It was a game that was incredibly tight. Heading into it was in extra time, and Joe Bryan's about 35 yards out, and David Raya, the Brentford keeper's just off his line by about 10 or 15 yards. And Scott Parker gives Joe Bryan a little bit of a note beforehand, just letting him know that Raya's off his line. And what does Joe Bryan do? Wasn't hit with any velocity. It was just a very precise free kick from about 35, 40 yards out. Raya nowhere near it, and it gives Fulham promotion. It was incredible.
Yeah, and the wonderful thing is the cameras were actually focusing on Joe Bryan's eyes when he took it,
Mm-hmm.
and he looks at Raya like for a millisecond. He
He
just
does.
he barely looks at him at all, and he still manages to get it perfectly in the gap where Raya can't save it, but it's still going in. It's a brilliant bit of skill from him. Justin, what is your all-time favourite playoff goal?
It's not the Joe Bryan free kick. It's a different free kick. It is the free kick scored by Charlie Adam for Blackpool
Mm,
in the 2010 playoff final. I think it was. Um, I mean, Charlie Adam that season was just a wrecking ball of creativity and goals. And that free kick in a playoff final from again about 30 yards out, hit with such precision over the wall and under the bar. It was absolutely beautiful. And I think that puts Blackpool 3-2 up as well in the first half. Second half was a bit of a damp squib, but Blackpool won't mind. But that is an incredible goal to do that at that stage in the playoff final. Unbelievable.
yeah, it was a beautiful free kick, wasn't it? And it really put Charlie Adam on another level, didn't it? And
It
made
did.
people think, wow, this guy's a player. Because he was a really good player. I know he became a bit of a joke figure by, internet trolls when he was
Hmm.
at Liverpool and what have you. But he was a really, really good player. Technical ability, passing the ball, free kicks, second to none, really. And my favourite all-time playoff goal is another free kick, and it's by the man, the myth, the legend, Peter Whittingham. Cardiff against Leicester in the playoff semi-finals. The free kick is on the edge of the box, right on the corner, and it looks like Whittingham's going to cross it in. I think any other player in that situation would cross it in, but when you've got a left foot like Peter Whittingham, he knew what he was doing straight away. Manages to wang it in into the corner, and the keeper had absolutely no chance. But it's just hit so beautifully with such precision. It is the pinnacle of Peter Whittingham's career. He has scored some bloody good goals in his time in a Cardiff shirt, but that is the one that I think most Cardiff fans remember so fondly because not only was it beautiful, but it meant so much as well in the grand scheme of things. But Justin, what's next topic?
Who is the one player who is synonymous with the playoffs in your mind? So, who is Mr. Playoffs, shall we say?
Justin Peach Derby fan, cover your ears. I'm afraid the player who's most synonymous with the playoffs in my mind is Bobby Z, Bobby Zamora. Of course, he's most famous for scoring that goal against Derby in the dying moments of that game and keep you on the back foot throughout the whole thing. Bobby Zamora pops up with a winning goal. But to score one winning goal in a playoff final is impressive enough. He's done it twice. He did it with West Ham in 2005, I think I'm right in saying, or maybe
Yeah, yeah.
2006. It was around that time. So for someone to score two match-winning goals in playoff finals, it's what you dream of as a player, isn't it? But he's done it twice. So, wow. I don't think anyone else comes close, Justin.
I think I might match you with my player because my player, although not scoring a winning goal, he's been a part of three winning teams, and that's Gary O'Neill. And I do shudder when I say Gary O'Neill because of that playoff final that you just mentioned. Obviously, I've said before in previous episodes, he changed the game against Derby in 2014 with his sending off and scything down of Johnny Russell. No bitterness here whatsoever. But he also went up with West Ham in 2013 and Norwich City in 2015. So three back-to-back playoff final wins is absolutely incredible. And, he was a regular in all of those sides as well, which I think is a testament to his player. Didn't do anything special, did all the dirty work, as we know, and was pivotal in his teams going up.
Yeah, master of the dark arts, Wanty, Gary O'Neill. But a good player, to be fair to him.
A
And
very good player.
when you get promoted 3 times in a row through the playoffs, that's a pretty good record, isn't it? Finally, Justin, and it's probably the biggest question of all that we've got to answer on the stopwatch today. How do we think this Sunday's playoff final between Huddersfield and Forest will go?
It's the reverse retro, isn't it? Yeah, I think it's going to be a tight game, as all playoff finals are. And I know both sides are heading in after a very good break in between the semi-finals and the final. And I think I'm sitting here and I think it's too hard to call. I really do think it's too hard to call. But if I was to lean on a team, I'd probably lean on Forest just because of the quality that they have in their team compared to Huddersfield. But at the same time, Huddersfield will thrive in this final. They will thrive in a tight game, whereas Forest might get a little bit edgy at times.
I'm surprised you've said Forest. I thought you were back in Huddersfield all the way to the hill, Justin.
I just think Keenan Davis is back. Brendan Johnson's in form. He's picking up in big games, which is massive. Zinchenko is in form as well with his off the ball pressing and his impact on the team. I just think Forest are in a really good moment, especially after that dramatic semi-final win as well.
Yeah, one of the issues that I had with Forest heading into the playoffs was morale taking a hit after losing out on automatic promotion and just the number of players that they had missing through injury. Now they're heading into the playoff final with virtually a fully fit squad, give or take 2 or 3 players who may be missing. And this is a bloody good squad. And the thing is as well, Steve Cooper lost in the playoff semis, lost in the playoff final. Only logical step is he goes and wins it at the 3rd time of asking. So I'm siding with Forest. I've sided with them throughout the whole of the playoffs, and I think this is it. Plus, it'll be good to see a club like Forest who have been out the top flight for so long. It'll be interesting to see how they do in the top flight as well. But there we go. Episode 34 and season 1 of the Stopwatch over for a season. It's been so emotional, but such a roller coaster at times. Thank you for joining us throughout the year, and we'll see you all again very soon within the Second Tier Podcast. You can find us on Twitter at Second Tier Pod. You can find us on Apple Podcasts. You can find us on Spotify as well for our bi-weekly episodes. As we'll be back again very soon, possibly next season. Thank you for watching.